Hey, what's up? It's your boy Kyle Russ here with Hydro Mind. Whether you're a beginner surfer or an expert, this may be the most important video you ever watch as it relates to the amount of waves you catch as a surfer. Something I call my 5 wave multipliers. Now these aren't incremental improvements, these are massive, that's why I call them the multipliers. And there's 5 things that you can do that will give you the biggest bang for your buck, shortest amount of time, most amount of waves. So number 1 is upper body endurance. This is the most important thing. When I got older and got a job and a family and I started surfing less, this is the first thing to go. Every time I see a beginner surfer, when I take one of my friends out for the first time, paddle strength is always their biggest weakness. So whether you're a beginner or an expert, this will be your biggest weakness or your biggest asset, depending on how you focus. Now the reason, you may have heard that the only way to stay in shape for surfing is to actually surf, and this is a myth, but it's understandable why this myth is out there anyways, because this is really hard to simulate because it is upper body. Things like running, jogging, biking, those kind of things don't work for this. So it's difficult if you don't know what to do, but I've spent the last 10 years figuring out the best ways to do this. So this gives you the biggest improvement. This is number 1. Without this, surfing isn't even possible. So that's why it's the most important. And number 2 is cardio. Where your upper body, muscular endurance, that's the vehicle. Cardio, that's the fuel. So that's getting oxygen into your muscles. And that's having a strong cardiovascular system, lungs, diaphragm, and heart to get your blood filled with oxygen. But as well, it relates to having a strong breathing pattern, breathing in through your diaphragm. So this is super, super important. And when you combine these two, this is gonna increase your maximum session length. So imagine you get tired after an hour. Adding these 2 things can allow you to surf 2, 3, 4 hours depending on your level. And now these are the 2 biggest things. If your surfing is say at a level 3 or a level 4 right now, this can put you easily up to level 7, 8, or 9 out of 10 in the shortest amount of time possible, within a month or less. So focusing here is absolutely critical, and it's going to give you a huge improvement in your surfing, put you on more waves right away. Now number 3 is recovery, and decreasing your recovery time is what I'm talking about in the water. So one of the biggest problems I used to have when I was not in the best shape, when I'd go surfing, I'd spend all my energy trying to get out past the break, and I'd have to rest for an extended amount of time before I was able to catch a wave. And then if I did catch a wave, it'd take me all that energy to get back out, and I'd have to wait, and I'd have to rest. And I don't know how many set waves I've missed because my strength wasn't there, because I didn't have enough time to rest. So this is why recovery time is super, super critical. And this is about oxygen efficiency. So whereas cardio is about getting oxygen into your blood, this is about getting oxygen out of your blood into your muscles. And that's a big topic, not worth covering here, but it's something that I consider to be one of my expertise, and I'll be sharing a lot about that in the future. So in recovery time, that's about wave frequency. So let's say that you're now surfing 2 to 3 hours, but you have to rest. Say you're catching 5 waves a session, that's going to easily double that, so you catch 10 waves a session, as an example. Now number 4. This is a huge one, injury prevention. Now, upper body injuries, shoulder injuries are super common with surfers, so taking care of those things, and as well as your back and your spine and your flexibility and all kinds of mobility, is super important. But there's lots of common surf injuries that need to be addressed, mainly shoulder injuries. And focus here is so critical because as you grow in your fitness as a surfer, you want to be going up, like in a bar graph, you want to steadily climb. And if you're out of the water and you're injured, then you're going to go down and you're not going to reach your potential. And then we're talking about multiplying our wave count here. Being out of the water, nothing's going to hurt you quicker than that. So injury prevention is super critical to focus on. And then the final one, number 5, is extending your career length, your overall surfing career length. And this relates to health and wellness in general, like diet, nutrition, emotional well-being, flexibility, and then health. And so these 2 are super related, and these are all about extending your surf career. So now I want you to picture where you're at right now, and then imagine adding these 2, and then so you're increasing your overall session length. So you could easily double the amount of waves you're catching. Then you decrease the recovery time, increase your wave frequency. It's easy to see that you can multiply the amount of waves you're catching again. And then if you combine these 2, so let's say on average you're catching 10 waves per session. But then say you focus here and you add 10 years onto your surf career. So let's say you surf 10 times a year. So that's 100 waves a year. And so you add 100 more times 10, it's easy to see you could add 1,000 more waves to your overall wave count over a lifetime. Extra waves. So that's why this is so important. And then when it comes to having fun with surfing, it's all about quantity. And now, like I said before, people ask about their pop-up and how to read waves and how do I do power turns and this and that. If you're multiplying the amount of waves you're catching by this amount and you're in that many more waves, all that stuff's gonna come later, but this is the foundation and this is what it's all about. In fact, this is what I'm all about because I know how much these things have affected my surfing and my well-being. And so this is what I consider to be my expertise and this is what I focus on, and the content I'm gonna be sharing is gonna be really focused on these things as much as possible because they are so important and they're gonna give you the biggest impact that you can get for the shortest amount of time. So no matter how infrequently you're surfing or no matter what your level, focus here is gonna have a massive, massive, massive effect on your surfing. So that's why this stuff is so important to me. So if that's something that interests you, continue to follow me. I'm gonna be sharing all this stuff in detail in an easy way that you can follow no matter how busy your lifestyle is. Again, my name is Kyle Russ with Hydro Mind. Thanks for watching.